foot muscles. This is our anatomical position. I'm on a tripod of the feet. My feet are underneath my knees are underneath my hips, and my hips are underneath my rib cage, which means that my shoulders are open and my thumbs are forward. For many of us, we are standing somewhat like this, or we hyperextend at the knees, and that is going to create issues within our joints. Let me explain. If for whatever reason I'm standing like this, is in a tilt constantly, my body learns to pattern a certain way and my joints are collapsing inwards. That means that I'm going to have issues with my knees, my hips and my spine, and probably my shoulders, because the alignment is out of whack and the joints are away from their home. We get build-ups of adhesions or migration of collagen in the fascia, and it starts to calcify around these areas to try to pull us back to alignment, but that is going to cause blockages in the system and pain upstream. The other thing that I see so much of is hyperextension of the knees. You can see here that the quad muscles are not turned on. All my body weight is collapsing down onto the patella. And for most people, when you hyperextend, the knee is falling inwards because the arches in the feet have collapsed. So many people are wearing shoes that have arch support in them, which means that the muscles in the foot don't get to flex and extend. So if you are constantly being supported by arches in your shoes and not doing any work on strengthening the muscles in your feet, then you are going to land into pronation, which means that the whole body is now falling onto a knee joint that is medially rotating. So once again, that is going to lead not only to knee surgery, but also to hip surgery down the track. The last thing that happens when we stand with locked out knees is our pelvis starts to anterior tilt. Okay, I'm tilting forward in my pelvis. That creates a really tight curve in my lower back, and it provides a really deep opening into the hip flexors or the psoas muscle, which is constantly in extension, meaning that it's going to get quite cranky over time and pull onto the lower back. If I just soften my knees, you'll see again that what happens is my pelvis realigns, it comes back underneath the rib cage, my lower back starts to create some space, and I give the psoas muscle a little bit of reprieve so it's not in so much tension all the time. So that's one thing you can do, but secondly, if you do want to strengthen those foot muscles, we can grab ourselves a soft ball. A juggling ball is great, or if you don't have a ball, use a towel. Soften your standing knee, wrap your toes around the ball, flex the muscles of the foot, and then work on your hip mobility to catch the ball and drop it back down again. You want to work on approximately like 2 to 3 minutes a day on each side, just working on softening the knee, flexing the muscles of the foot, and then working your hip mobility. Your hip is a ball and socket joint, so it really loves to move. Now, if you can figure that out, then you're going to try to build a tower with Jenga blocks. This is a really great way to strengthen the muscles of your feet, and it's a really fun game to do that is quite addictive, but I guarantee you'll see a massive change in your feet just by doing this exercise. So you want to have 3 Jenga blocks for this one, which are pretty easy to get a hold of these days. We put them on this height here, and our job is to use our feet to create a tower. So I'm going to do my best to do this for you relatively quickly. I'm going to grab the Jenga block, flexing the muscles of the feet, using my hips and my balance. I'm going to try to turn it up onto one end. Now I need to grab all 3 of these obviously to create a bit of a tower. Now you see that I'm getting my hips in really interesting positions, and this is the whole point. For many of us, we are sitting in chairs and we're not using the hip joint the way that we should, hence why a lot of us get really tight in our hips, which of course creates that lower back pain. This is exactly what we're trying to build with our feet, and I highly recommend doing this every day until you see an improvement in your foot health and your knees starting to realign over your